Welcome to episode 49 of Masks of Nyarlathotep. We are joined again by Matt, Slip, and Rogue, with Rogue as a new addition, a welcome addition to the group. And where we left off at the end of last session, you had broken into I guess we could call it a villa, for lack of a better word, and snooped around. Someone associated with Omar al-Shahti. And though you only found empty jars, I believe it wasn't a total waste of your time, but you've slipped away into the night, and that's where we stopped. So I'm going to take us back to the map of Memphis, and you can tell me what your next move is. You're in the village there. Your camp is out here as a reminder. This is.
Can we pull up the calendar again?
We sure can. Well, I went there. It would help to take you as well. So yes, this would be the evening or all night of the 18th of March.
Okay.
Wednesday.
We still got a few days.
6 days to the moon.
Yeah, probably means 6 days until they leave, too.
I'm really wondering if they're planning on doing this here, or if they're going to go somewhere else. But you know they got something planned. And the way those girls over at the villa was talking makes me think, well, it's not too far.
Most likely not. Maybe, I don't know if we could get them in a corner somewhere and maybe find out what they know. It's a bit risky, but might give us some answers if they know exactly where they're being taken. And we can rescue them too.
That's a darn good idea. And I was thinking...
One of your... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That maybe... I don't know. I mean, I know Al-Shakti's going to have a lot of men involved in this, but if there was some way that you could convince your governor friend to interrupt whatever it is he's got planned, we could expose him, get enough men there, and, well, Al-Shakti wouldn't be able to do anything in secret anymore.
Yes. Definitely gonna need some proof, and perhaps you could wear a disguise and talk to the women.
You think they go to church?
Oh, everyone goes to church there, Lottie. Or Maxine, saying my own name.
Well, yeah, I reckon most people go to church, she says, looking a little guilty. I think I'd just make a fool of myself, though. I don't really know anything about the traditions here. Maybe you'd do better because, I mean, you know something about the cultures. Or maybe, William, you could kind of teach us so that we didn't, you know, turn the wrong way, face our rug, you know, in a way that would offend somebody. I don't know. I don't know anything about this.
Ah, yes. Those women, I tell you, were terrified, though.
Well, that means they got good sense.
The only thing is they might have family somewhere. I don't know if they're... I'm assuming they're providing for them. That's why they're working there. That's why they're forced to be employed. They don't want to be. Not sure what we can do to get them out.
If if worse comes to worse, we could maybe convince him to, I don't know, get us some sort of signal or message if, once they know more about what's going on.
William is gonna light up a cigarette. Where are they at right now?
That's up to you. I assumed you probably were heading back to your camp. But that's, correct me if I'm wrong, but that seemed like the logical next.
I think we're heading back to the camp, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
William's gonna light up a cigarette. He's thinking about this. Is there any way I could make any check I could make to maybe know the customs of the women? What's right and wrong? What's acceptable?
Yeah, certainly. I would assume with Arabic language comes knowledge of the culture, so that's the most obvious and direct. History is possible, and anthropology is possible. I would allow any of those.
So language is cool? Like for doing a test on it?
I'm sorry, say that again?
So for like the Arabic culture, like just using the language skill
Yes.
would give
Yes, I would find it very hard to believe you would learn the Arabic language without also learning culture along with it. That seems to be tied in.
successful there.
Yeah. Thinking about maybe he would relate to them the certain things like walking behind the man or something like that. And,
Yeah, there's some clear things. I mean, I think William would probably not really know a lot about women to women relation, though, like how women relate to one another. I would say that's probably less likely. You would have learned more about how you would behave as a man to women and to other men. But it doesn't mean you wouldn't have any idea. It just means I would say that's the most, that's probably the area where you're the least.
yeah, true. Maybe Lottie would know more about the women.
We'll just roll Arabic then?
We'll do it when the time comes. So he's going to impart whatever wisdom he believes is wise, and you can act on it or not. And if you choose to act on it, we will roll retroactively to find out how well he did, because you really wouldn't know if what he's telling you is accurate or not.
I did have a
but I'm sure
bit
it
of an
sounds.
idea.
I'm sure
You know,
William speaks with some
got
authority.
my friend. We've got my friend in the other camp there. What if we ask him exactly maybe which of the guards can be bribed in order for us to maybe sneak in and, I don't know, see any plans or see if he can get any plans or some such? Any idea of what exactly they're doing there?
That ain't a bad idea. There's a lot of them guards there. There's definitely some risk. Probably have to do it when Clive wasn't going to be around.
True. But we don't know when exactly that's going to be.
Either that or maybe we could come up with some sort of a distraction and he could get in, snoop around.
Maybe we could.
as I recall, you had arranged so that James Gardner was going to return to the cafe the following evening, correct?
Yes, it was.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. Okay. Good.
The Maxine opens Shelley's journal that she's been writing down some notes in, and she says, "This is what I got in the pottery shop of addresses," and it's what Darren posted in the chat. Maybe you ought to, throw this up the pipeline of your government friends. Maybe they could find out something more about this. If they know of any connection at these docks in London, who runs them, who owns them, these particular spots. I mean, it might take some time to get word all the way back from London, but it's possible we could get something useful.
See William, he's got like a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he's like fumbling through some notes and stuff, trying to refresh or find clues that might be helpful to give them, And looks up and he says, yes. Send that to him, information to him tomorrow when we go back to town. Hopefully I'll have received word by then. He thinks about it for a minute, and he's like, message I sent yesterday. Just giving him a bit of information that I had gathered in the past few days.
What kind of proof do you think it would take to get some sort of real response?
It worries me. I don't think
that would be directly proportional to how influential someone is. So to act against an Englishman is going to be tough. Though in this case, you're not totally sure, William, because you're supposed to be investigating Clive. So, but again, he is respected, etc. It would be bad for you if you pulled the trigger and it turned out to be, not go your way.
right.
For Egyptians, it really depends on how important they are in the Egyptian political community. They have no problem roughing somebody up or arresting, nobodies. But if it's somebody as powerful as Omar al-Shakti, for example, that they're going to tread lightly in your estimation.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking too. Is in his response to her, like, I don't know how much weight information from a woman would be against him. He's a powerful man. I expect we would have to some very good proof.
In that case, maybe it's better to keep his name out of it at all.
Which worries me.
If we're following,
do you not want to jump the gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, maybe you could send some message about where to find that passage in my Mycerinus, though. That would be the start of proof that Clive was dirty and had smuggled the sarcophagus out.
They just have to find their way back to where the sarcophagus is.
Yeah.
Didn't you say you had
I feel kind of bad sending people down there. I mean, it's a real maze, but sending them to find the entrance would at least be that'd be proof. That'd be proof of something.
I had an idea yesterday when we were speaking with your associate. Or, it'd be earlier, wouldn't it? Talked to him earlier today. Talked to James earlier. That was earlier when we met James, right?
Yes, that was late afternoon.
Yeah. William says, I had an idea when we were speaking with your associate. What if we arranged some kind of setup? Found out something that they want very badly. Take some planning.
I'm not sure exactly what they'd want, though.
Does Clive want?
Well, to turn back time, I think Clive might be what he wanted here. It's gone, I think.
If we could arrange them to become enemies.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like we're groping around in the dark here, but
This is gonna take some more planning.
I agree. I mean, it's possible James might be the key to all of it. He might tell us something that kind of makes a plan come together. Otherwise, I feel like maybe we're just kind of waiting to see what move they make.
Indeed.
Although, okay, all right. What do you two think? Look, that secret passage to Mycerinus, it's not going to disappear. I mean, it's there. If you don't want to tell your superiors about it to implicate Clive, it's possible we could get wind to a newspaper, and that would certainly put the pressure on the Clive expedition once it got out that it's highly likely there was something underhanded going on. But then, I don't know, do we want a bunch of police poking around right now? Maybe not. Maybe the timing on that's not good.
Another thing we could do is contact the what is it? Basically the Egyptian part of I'd say the archaeologists that are so I think they have some sort of museum or something. Maybe contact them and tell them about the actual entrance in Mycerinus. I'm sure they'd be interested in that. And they could also start looking more into Clive, and especially heavily, since that's there. Yeah?
Hey, you never met the Dr. Kafour back in Cairo, did you?
No, I did not meet him. I'm pretty sure Clive most likely did, but I did not.
Yeah, he seems on the up and up. He helped out Thaddeus and Nat and them, and I met him once. He might be someone to tell. He works up at the museum in Cairo.
I'm sure you'd be fascinated by the idea of a secret entrance from Mycerinus. Leads underneath the Sphinx there.
Yeah, you know, Cairo's only a hop, skip, and a jump across the river. We could make a day trip tomorrow before you're meeting with your friend.
Ooh, we could. I think we should, actually.
Might be nice to be back in semi-civilization for a few hours anyway.
Decent food. That'll be nice.
What do you think, William? Have you ever met Mr. Kafour over at the museum?
I highly doubt it, but you can try a credit rating check. Which I've always found a strange name for the skill, because it really is your social connections and your kind of, yeah. You've never even heard of Dr. Kafour.
And he looks back up from his notes as he's going through, and he's like, no, I'm afraid not.
Yeah, he's pretty well respected, and he knows quite a bit about this whole, cult, Black Pharaoh stuff, and honestly, judging by these notes and some things people said, I think he's dabbled in the dark arts himself a little bit, enough to scare himself anyway.
We should definitely give him a visit then, tomorrow.
Well, if we're gonna do that, we should probably get in bed. It's definitely late.
Right. We have an early day.
All right. Bed it is then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You go to sleep. The night is uneventful. Although maybe you have to get up to whiz or something in the middle of the night, but everything's quiet. The next morning, you can take off. It sounds like it's actually doesn't look like it's going to be as hot a day as usual, which is a bit of a relief. So are you planning to drive? And the question would be, are you heading to the Nile, or are you going around and passing the Clive camp?
I think that we should head back in the same way we came in.
Okay. So by the camp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how early are you planning to leave?
8 o'clock? Does that sound right, guys? We don't
Yeah.
have Thaddeus with us anymore, so...
True.
That's true, yes. He was infamous for getting up around 11. And drinking himself to sleep in overstuffed chairs. That was essentially his calling card. All right, so yeah, this would be very strange getting up on time. So, yep, you get up and depart, and as you drive around and pass by the Clive camp, you can see there's, morning activity there. Guards are out. People look like they're clustered around tents, eating, talking. Nothing strange stands out to you.
We don't see Shakti's car. We're pretty sure that...
No,
he
his
left.
car is not there. It would be pretty hard to conceal it. It is gone. So you drive on and head to Saqqara and then up to Cairo. So, as you can see from the little map here, from Memphis, if you head up along here, and then you get to Giza, and then you can head the pyramids rather, and then you can head into Cairo. And it's about 30 miles, so given the poor shape of the road, that is anywhere from 2 to 3 hours drive, maybe 2 hours if you're lucky. Today it's pretty easy, so a couple hours. Not a lot of traffic, a little bit of foot traffic heading into Cairo, farmers and such. So are you going straight to the museum?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. We get lunch after.
Most assuredly. All right. So you get to the museum, and let me make sure I've got the Egyptian Museum here. Yes.
Have to get tea later.
You and your tea.
Okay. That you are at the museum. It is not very busy on a Thursday morning. A few academics. It's very familiar to Maxine. She's been here at least 2 or 3 times, I think. But Lottie and William, you've never actually been in. Let's see. The museum has a couple of floors. On the ground floor, over in the P area, is where they met Dr. Kafour back in the 5th dynasty, I think it was. The 5th dynasty room. Pictured here.
Lottie looks to Maxine. You know who he is, so lead the way.
Yeah, it's quite a place, isn't it?
I know, it's fascinating. Could get lost in here for quite a while.
Yeah, it could use a concession stand, but other than that, I kind of like it.
Yes.
And William is walking around, mouth agape and fascinated by everything.
Yeah, she kind of tugs on his sleeve. This way. Hopefully he's in. He's not always. And she leads them back to the area.
Mm-hmm. You actually see he is in the room. He has an assistant, and they are actually they are carefully creating a display to put the new pieces in from the Clive dig.
So Maxine is going to try to catch his eye without saying anything, and then walk away for a minute. Basically, give him a chance to dismiss the assistant if he feels the need. But she'll catch his eye and give him a meaningful look.
He seems pretty engrossed in what he's doing, so it takes it takes a little longer than you'd like, but he eventually does look up, and he just kind of glances at you at first and turns to go back to his stuff, and then he kind of does a double take and sees you. And I assume Lottie and William are with you as well, or are you by yourself?
I think they're with me, but she'll look at him and have like probably had a little coughing fit to get his attention.
Yeah. He sees you, and then you see his eyes immediately go to Lottie and William, and he just kind of looks at you with this sort of questioning look.
Yeah, she gives him the A-OK symbol. Signal, and
which in Egyptian means kill them immediately. So.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yes. He kind of nods his head, and he turns to his assistant, and you hear him say something in quiet Arabic, and the assistant looks up and actually kind of looks grateful or happy, and leaves the room. And he walks over and he says, patrons of the museum, I see. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah. So,
And Maxine, you can tell, like, he's there's an awkwardness about him, like he's stumbling with his words a little bit, and you can see he's kind of putting on a show for Lottie and William.
Look, I've got my, we're kind of, here, we've been digging around over in Memphis some, and, she kind of emphasizes Memphis and digging, and, I was hoping, I heard you were the man to ask, about some things that we discovered down there.
Oh, well, yes, of course, I would be happy to discuss any such things. And he looks again at Lottie and William and back at you, and his face is a little, there's obvious confusion on his face.
Yeah. She says, could we talk maybe in your office? We've been on our feet for quite a while.
Of course, please come. Oh, you came all the way from Memphis this morning, did you? As he's walking along the halls, with the sandals echoing on the floor.
Thank you so much. As they enter the room, she's looking around, obviously for anyone around who might be listening. If there's a door they can close.
Yes, so he takes you to his office, and the door can close, clearly. He welcomes you all in. Unfortunately, William, you don't have much time to look at the Clive pieces. The group is moving on unless you're falling behind, staying behind.
He was kind of watching and very interested in it, and as they start to kind of like leave, he's starting to like catch up and totally a little bit behind, but he'd get there before the door closed.
Yep. And he welcomes you in, and he says, would you like some tea? Forgive my manners.
Oh, yes, please, that would be Dr.
Kafour. Oh, Dr. Ali Kafour, at your service. He puts his hand out to shake.
Very nice to meet you. I'm Dr. William Stevens of Anthropology.
Dr.
I have an amazing collection.
A pleasure to meet you, Dr. Stevens, and welcome. This is your first time?
Yes, it is.
Oh, excellent.
I'm Lottie McDonough. I'm an archaeologist, actually. I used to be on the Clive expedition, but now I'm with Maxine here.
Vaguely familiar, yes.
Yeah, there's a good reason she's formally of the Clive expedition, Mr. Kafour. Lottie, you mind showing him?
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry if you're a bit squeamish there, Doctor. And she ruffles up her sleeves, showing the deep indentations, blackened nails that are starting to grow in. But
he looks, and he kind of recoils a little bit and makes a distasteful face. He says, "And what does this signify?"
Go ahead, Maxine.
If there was ever any question that the Clive expedition was mixed up with, all that badness we've been talking about, well, there's no question anymore. And that's not all we discovered, but I don't quite know where to begin. Maybe I'll let Lottie start with her part of the story.
Sure. Well, I was there the night that the tomb went missing in my Cyrenus. I actually saw it being taken, and this is the result of me seeing it being taken.
You say then that you are a witness to the theft? With your
I'm
own
indeed, though.
eyes?
Yes, though how they took the tomb, it was a bit beyond me. Some sort of group magics, maybe. They made the thing basically float with some sort of eerie green light.
You
Sounds a bit.
see his face twist up at that.
Well, that may seem far-fetched to you, and I wasn't there, but we did discover how they got that sarcophagus out of the room.
Oh.
And it wasn't all by magic. There's a secret passage in my Cyrenus.
Another secret passage in addition to the one that Clive found.
Yes, there's. I'm not too sure about the mechanisms. I think Maxine witnessed it, but it goes underneath my Cyrenus, and we know it travels all the way underneath the Sphinx there.
Wait, you see his face kind of, his lips purse and he scowls with obvious doubt. All the way to the Sphinx. You know that is several hundred yards.
Oh, we didn't even go in half them passages. She kind of hands him a rough drawing and tries to describe the mechanism for opening up the passageway. You hear about what happened to Nat and Thaddeus by any chance?
Oh, yes, Mr. Thaddeus. That was most distressing. I read of it in the papers. Poor man killed himself.
Yeah, Lottie probably didn't know that yet.
She's pretty shocked by that. It looks to Maxine. He killed himself.
Oh, I'm sorry, my child. Yes. I'm afraid he did. It is a tragedy. I liked the man.
Yeah, well, when we was down under my Cyrenus, well, that's where we found Lottie.
You mentioned, he puts his hand up, you mentioned Natalia, Miss Vasconia.
Yes.
Where is she? Why is she not with you?
I was getting to that. It kind of puts Thaddeus's actions into perspective. When we was under my Cyrenus, well, some of them cultists involved in this, they was under there, and Natalia, she's a fighter, no doubt, but there's some things you can't punch your way out of. And look, she didn't make it. And Maxine looks genuinely stricken by it, and she kind of coughs uncomfortably. Yeah, Thaddeus, after that, he just didn't have the will to go on with this work, I reckon.
He frowns and he says, I am quite sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I didn't know him for very long, but long enough that they made an impression.
Yes, I could say the same.
Yeah, anyway, so we was thinking who we know who's respectable enough, knowledgeable enough about these pyramids that maybe they could, I don't know, send someone to check out my story. I mean, there's not really any way to disguise that mechanism once you know it's there.
He's looking at the drawing and he says, if I understand this, it's rather ingenious, yes. And you say this is functioning. You used it yourself.
Yeah, she pulls out the upside down Ankh, and then she looks really guilty for a second. She's like, "Look, I got a little confession. Um, so look, I gotta think of this as the will of some higher force. All right, so hopefully you'll see it that way too. But when I was here last time, and you had all sorts of stuff spread out on the table, there was a lot of little tiny statues, and one of them was." What was it a statue of? It was a female pharaoh or
Yeah,
something.
they're just called little shabtis. They're little clay, small statues of people. They're meant to, usually in a tomb there'll be hundreds of these, and they're meant to be servants and followers in the afterlife.
Yeah, I don't. Just something made me take it. This little statue. And once we was there, and there was that, like those borders on the tomb.
So this was part of the Clive find.
Yeah, and once I thought about it that way.
You stole it from my table.
Yeah, I did. All right, and I would say I'm sorry, but as it turns out, I think it was meant to be. And she takes out the Ankh that she says, this was inside that statue. And she says, I've actually got the statue. It's fine. I didn't break it or nothing. And you can have it back. She'll start digging through her purse.
He says, thank you very much. But you
But
can see his face his expression has changed. He's not pleased, clearly.
Look, you can, read me my my rights later, but this was the key. This is what opened it. This thing. She tries to describe the pattern on the wall with the ankhs, and this was an upside down spot. When I put it there, there was a click, and that made the whole mechanism work.
I see.
And I don't think it was a coincidence that it was in with the Clive expedition finds.
Very interesting.
Do you think...
Oh, go ahead, Roxy.
I mean, if I was you, I'd look at some of those other ones. See if you think there's something inside of them, because this may not be the only key.
Well, you said it was inside. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, would we have... well, perhaps we will make a study of them. There are hundreds. Literally.
Yeah, there's hundreds. Think about it. There's hundreds. And the one I picked up opened up that secret passage.
You can see he's considering that.
And
he kind of nods. You can tell he's not happy, but it seems that he's at least listening to what you just said.
And without Maxine having a bit of sticky fingers there, I mean, I don't know what would have happened to me. They wouldn't have been able to get down. And they wouldn't have been able to find the tomb. She looks over to Maxine again.
Yeah, the sarcophagus was down there. In a big old room, but it took a while to find it. But...
You have found it? Why didn't you start with that?
Because...
His eyes grow wide.
He was feeling really bad about taking that key. Maxine.
Oh, that's nothing. If you found the sarcophagus, all is forgiven. Where is it? We must... I must go and tell Dr. Malik immediately.
Look, wait. You sure you can trust Dr. Malik? Because there was people down there. There was... Not just people. There was... It's not unguarded, is what I'm saying. It's dangerous. You can't just send...
What do you mean
unsuspecting folks down there to go poking around, or they're going to end up like Nat.
So he starts kind of cross-examining you almost to try to get a clear picture of what's down there. Like what exactly, you've said that there's these it goes all the way to the Sphinx. He's having trouble believing that, but you've got his attention now. What do you leave out? Are he wants to know what happened.
She doesn't say anything about burning the,
The mummy.
mummy.
Yes, but you basically described that you went into
She-
this enormous.
Yeah. She'll describe kind of the people down there in Lottie's description. Like the way she was like people wearing masks.
Mhm.
She won't necessarily say masks. She'll say with the appearance of, and guarding, implying that they're just part of the cult.
Sure.
Oh, and then she kind of smacks her head and she says, "Oh, and the imam was down there too. You have heard anything about?"
The imam, the missing imam, from Ibn Tulun.
Mm-hmm. He was down there. He was a prisoner along with Lottie.
We must go to the authorities with this immediately.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is Mr. Al-Shakti's kind of bankrolling this whole deal, so I don't know who you can really trust as far as authorities go.
When she says that, like William was just whispering something to Lottie at that moment, and then when she says that, he like raises his eyebrow and looks over towards Maxine. I was about to say, perhaps we should let Dr. Kafour know about Moore's involvement.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what we told Kafour before about what we knew, but I think we had at least implied it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, there were definitely some detailed discussions about things. This isn't you've talked about the cult of the Brotherhood, the Black Pharaoh, all of that. So he's not, he seems like momentarily confused. He says, "Why would we not go to the authorities immediately? They must know. If the sarcophagus is there and we can recover it, this would be an historic moment. And justice will be served, and Egypt will have its pride again."
There is a small chance that I assume that if Omar al-Shakti hears about this, he might use his weight to try and suspend something or stop it. He was
stop it?
part. I'm not sure, but he was part of the. This again. I'm showing a ring. He did a good majority of the damage to me.
I'm very sorry about that. And perhaps your word would stand against him, but as you say, Mr. Al-Shakti is very wealthy and has many, many influential friends. I can easily see him denying such a charge, but if the sarcophagus is recovered, how can he stop that? I assure you, the Egyptian government is extremely keen to get this back.
Look, I don't know what the other ones think, but I'm fine with y'all going and looking for it as long as you go in numbers and you keep our names out of it.
Oh, I assure you there will be representatives, no doubt, from the museum, and there will be members of the Egyptian police, and I assume we would invite certain British authorities to come along as well. I have no doubt they will demand to be present.
Indeed.
And of course you will have to lead us there.
Nah. Right now, Al-Shaki doesn't know about me. And I plan to keep it that way. Once I'm on his radar, I'm as good as dead.
But you
And I
know
plan
where this
on...
is, and you describe this as a very difficult to find your way around down there, is it not?
It is. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure I could find it again. I kind of was just wandering around blind. It might take a while.
He seems frustrated. Still, you are determined that you will not assist in this.
Look, Mr. Kafour, honestly, between what Thaddeus sacrificed and what Nat sacrificed, my brother sacrificed, I feel like I got a different priority right now. You know, I'm real happy that Egypt's going to be able to get its pride back, and you can get an artifact back that's important, and hopefully
And justice
it will
be
all...
served. This will go to show other thieves like Dr. Clive that he cannot get away with such things.
Yeah, if he's already not on a boat to China, but
I've got to agree with Dr. Kafour. But Maxine, I understand you not wanting to do this, but if you can give me a detailed map and everything, fully detailed, I can help in finding this place. I want this. I want it found. Clive basically helped steal this away from me as well.
But Lottie, your picture's gonna end up in the paper, your name. Shakti's gonna know.
If we have someone like Dr. Kafour backing us, this is the way to go, I believe.
And this is my life, Maxine. This is what I do. I chose to come here in the first place. I chose to go into Temple of Mycerinus to discover what was inside. This is what I signed up for.
You can see Dr. Kafour nodding his head in approval. He's saying, "You are a very brave girl, willing to do the right thing. I admire that."
Maxine sighs. It ain't that I'm scared. It's that I want Shakti to pay. And I just know there's not going to be a straight line between any of this and him, but look, if this is what y'all want to do, I ain't going to leave you to do it alone. I'll go with you.
Excellent. He claps his hands together.
Now, but listen, Dr. Kafour. Before you tell your boss anything, you make sure you got someone else watching your back, because you might think you know him, but he might be involved. You don't know. You know, Al-Shakti's got to have friends all over the place in high places.
He smiles a little indulgently and he says, "I have known Dr. Malik for a very long time."
Yeah, well, that
He
priest
is
who
no
went
cultist.
missing. Do you know? Is there not one niggling part of your little brain that thinks he might be involved in some way?
Involved in... He thinks... You can see he's about to say something kind of dismissive, but he actually stops himself for a second before he opens his, as he's opening his mouth. And he looks at you, but he's not saying anything.
Look, he may not know everything. He may just enjoy having a powerful friend that he passes information on or occasionally covers up something for. Doesn't mean he's a cultist, but you gotta take care. You can't just tell one person. If you're gonna tell him, you gotta tell the authorities at the same time, so that you don't end up with a knife in your back.
I don't know. Very well, I will be cautious. I will make sure there is someone with me when I speak to Dr. Malik. Someone who can keep him honest.
Someone who, if they go missing, will actually be missed.
Well, I intend to tell Dr. Malik that I will go to the authorities if he is not intending to do so immediately. This cannot wait. If Dr. Clive and whoever his associates are, perhaps Al-Shakti, if they know that we know, they may move it again, and then we will never find it. We must move quickly before they fear discovery.
Yeah, they may already be doing that. It's a big thing, but they may be moving it, but
They moved it once.
all by itself, that underground complex has got to be a discovery, so...
We have someone on the inside if they do move it.
Hey, you got a point there, William.
What's that? Dr. Kafour looks curious.
Just that we have a friend of the Clive expedition that's watching things for us.
I see. And this friend, would he be willing in court perhaps to make witness statements?
Buddy?
Gardner, he didn't see them take it. I think I'm really the only one who at least saw who was part of the group taking it. Clive and Winfield. But at least Gardner, I'm sure he'd be willing to testify against Clive with anything else that he sees, if he does see anything. That's all he knows is what I've said to him. But he'd definitely be more believable than me, being a man and all.
He says, well, I think I have all I need to present this to Dr. Malik and to the rest of the museum. The more people that know about this, the harder it will be for them to cover it up if there is someone with such an interest.
When you decide to talk, shout it to the rooftops. Don't let them cover it up.
Yes, exactly. Well, how can I...
I didn't hear that.
He says, how can I reach you? It will, I expect. It'll take the better part of the day to get things moving, but I would hope that by tomorrow morning a delegation could be organized to go and investigate.
Yeah, I reckon we could meet you at my Cyrenus.
Yes, yes.
So we could maybe arrange to meet.
And he puts up a hand and he says, pardon me, but my Kiranas. And you see him kind of stiffen up a little bit.
Morning.
Yes, we'll meet you there in the morning then.
Yeah, yeah, if it's possible to leave out some details about who we are until they show up, just in case something goes wrong, just in case it ain't the authorities that show up tomorrow morning.
I'm afraid if I represent it as anonymous people with tip, it will not be taken nearly as seriously.
Well, she just looks over at Lottie and William. It's your neck's on the line as much as mine. Honestly, I can disappear tomorrow if I need to.
Give him my name then. I was on the Clive expedition, so
yes, you see,
he'll give it more weight.
Your name will carry the most weight because you were part of the expedition. you are exposing a crime that you were a direct witness of. That will carry a great amount of weight. Of course, it is a shame you are not a man, but you are at least English. Or
Bloody frowns. Not English. You think I'm like him?
he seems to have no idea what he just, he's in thought. And he says, well, good then. It is settled. Meet us there tomorrow morning.
Sure.
If there is a delay, I will send someone to my assistant. He will recognize you.
Nah, if we don't see you, I don't think we're gonna show our faces. If we don't see you, I'm gonna assume you weren't careful enough, Dr. Kafour.
Oh my. Well, then let us hope you see me. He smiles good-naturedly.
Look, I know you're real excited, but don't let that cloud your judgment. There's a lot of people already dead over this.
He says, my mind is clear.
All right, then. Thaddeus and Natalia sure did seem to trust you, so I'm sort of taking a gamble on that.
He stands up and reaches out a hand to shake William's hand.
Yeah, William was to shake his and smile on his face.
And he nods politely at Lottie and Maxine. And he says, tomorrow then.
Thank you, Dr. Kafour.
Be a great day for Egypt. I am very grateful for you for coming to me. You've done the right thing. And he calls his assistant in to see you to the entrance. And the assistant does kind of walk. He seems to assume you're going to follow along, though it's a public museum. You don't have to leave if you don't want to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, William will follow along. But he kind of falls back to Maxine and Lottie and feel good about this?
I feel good about finally getting a bit of, in a way, justice in terms of this. I mean, this is a big find that was completely taken out of, and being able to put my name on finding it again would be wonderful. And stick it to Carlisle a bit. Also, English. Do you think I look English?
Maxine doesn't even laugh at that. She has a dark, thoughtful look on her face. And she looks at both of them. I really hope I'm just being paranoid. But, something my good old ma used to say is hope in one hand, poo in the other. See which gets full first.
His laugh kind of fades as he sees Maxine's dark demeanor and says, I think this is good. Dr. Kafour was, I think, exactly what we need.
I just hope he doesn't trust the wrong person.
I hope so too.
Dang it. It's so hard dealing with people who have got no criminal background, she says, like in complete seriousness.
I mean, I did sold something once when I was young.
Yeah, I sense that about you, Lottie. It's Dr. Kafour I'm worried about.
True. At least I didn't steal people's homelands. And she looks over to William.
He doesn't even catch it. He's like looking off towards the Clive edition stuff, and just following along.
Oh, where exactly? Where exactly is the Clive expedition digging now? Is it the Bent Pyramid?
The Clive expedition. No, they're in Memphis, just like you were.
Yeah, they're not digging anywhere. They're just digging a bunch of baloney.
So I think, anyway. Where is
So
the
we
Bent Pyramid, anyway?
All right. I assume you're out of the museum.
Yeah, we leave the museum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's Dashur? I don't know what that is.
Well, I can
It's
show
a day's
you the map.
journey or so. It's a bit farther up towards the mouth of the Nile.
Whoops, hold on.
That's where,
Nope.
we're saying that's where Nefertiti most likely speculated to be buried, eh?
Yeah, that's what the notes say, I guess. I don't really know anything about it. And all the names are so darn hard to even pronounce.
That pyramid's all the way down there in Dashur. That's where it said he was buried, at least. I don't know if they're going to be heading down there afterwards, or they're just playing around in Memphis.
You know, Lottie, even if they are just playing around in Memphis, they do have that new moon coming up. And if they was going to try to appease their Black Pharaoh with some sort of a sacrifice, that would be a likely spot to pick, don't you think?
Might be. Maybe they've already started setting something up. Be interesting to see if it's down there. But we should head back to Memphis. Talk with Gardner again.
And if we live through tomorrow morning, maybe we can check it out.
Agreed.
Okay.
Hopefully.
So it sounds like you're heading back to Memphis.
Oh, we gotta get lunch first. I'm
Oh,
hungry.
yes. Well, Dr. Kafour, I believe, didn't he, or am I misremembering, didn't he take you to lunch? So you know a couple of places you can eat. Maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering.
We did eat at a cafe that was not far from
That's what I thought. So yeah. Yep, you can eat there. Have conversation.
I'm trying to think of where else. Maybe we should see. You're right if we go past tomorrow. Hopefully. Actually.
Okay, so shall I take it you head back to Memphis then?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. You do. The weather has held. It's not as hot as it might be, and you make it back. I assume, are you driving back the same way and drive past the Clive dig, or are you going the other way and not being seen coming back?
We've, I don't know. Do we want to not push our luck, or do we want to drive by?
Maybe we're taking an alternate route. Might be smarter.
Alright.
Okay.
So we come in the other way.
Yeah, so you get back to your campsite. It's, mid-afternoon. Let's call it 2 o'clock when you get back, or maybe a little later, 3 o'clock.
Hope you don't take this amiss or feel like you need to report it to any authorities, she says, looking at William. But I got a little gift, some people might say, for for art of a certain kind. She starts digging around. And just in case we have to leave the country of a sudden, it might be helpful to obscure things a bit. And she kind of pulls out her alternate passport and shows it to Lottie.
How'd you get that?
I made it. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
You just need to start out with the right paper, and then believe me, it costs something. But I got some more of these, and if given some time, I might be able to come up with something for both of you. Although, gosh, William, with your job, you might already have one. Is William even your real name?
William looks over at what she's got there. He's like, "Good show. You look very fine."
I'm gonna
Yeah.
assume that's
William is not my
no.
real name.
What?
You said I messed up the name. Yeah,
He
that's,
said, he says William is not my real name.
it isn't.
What did
What's that?
occur?
It is Dr. Stevens, though.
Interesting.
Alright. Then what is your real fire?
Tell you just yet.
That's all right. I'll just rummage through your stuff while you're asleep. Maxine.
What's wrong with being English, anyway?
Everything. What's not wrong with being English?
You have a very English look about you.
I'm Irish, you fuck.
He
Gotta stop
kind
you.
of laughs.
You think McDonough's an English name? What bloody school did you go to?
I missed what you said at that last part.
Oh, I said, you think McDonough's an English name? What bloody schools did you go to?
He smiles like, and goes back into his bag.
Hey, shit.
I don't have a camera or anything by any chance.
I would think maybe you do, actually.
Awesome.
You're cutting out a lot for me.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, is he for you guys too?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, you've cut out a couple
No,
times,
it
but
may be me. My end may be bad. Yeah.
It's not us, it's you.
Okay. It's not you. It's me.
well, that's what Maxine's gonna do for the rest of their afternoon. Is she's gonna get a start on some fake IDs, some fake passports. For Lottie, at least. I don't know if William really needs one.
No, he actually has one. That's the one he's using now, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's fine.
And as he's like looking over, he pulls out the camera that he has, and he's looking over and making sure there's like not a lot of dust in it and cleaning it off and stuff. And he's like, "Real name is James."
Really now, how are we supposed to believe you?
You'll just have to trust me then.
Maybe I'll just start picking through random names and start calling you on.
Yeah, Jimmy, that's a good Irish name, ain't it?
Jimmy! Sure, I'll call you Jimmy.
Sounds good.
Alright, Jimmy, well, I'm gonna go and look at that, go to that place that you're spying on the Clive expedition, crawl up there and see if I can see anything, just in case.
Should I come with you?
If you'd like. Well, it's not a free country here, you're free to do what you'd like.
looks over to Maddie. Scene.
I'm kind of busy here, but all right, but we gotta make it quick.
Yeah, we shouldn't separate. I just wanted to keep eyes just in case.
Yeah, I have a feeling you two would get into trouble without me.
I think you're just getting into arguments without you.
Yeah, and if they get loud, who knows who would notice. Alright, you guys really want to go over and have a peek?
Yes.
That sounds good.
Okay. So you go over and watch. Your sense of what's going on there is that it's pretty much like, at least for you, William, the last 3 days you've been watching. Like there's not a lot happening. You notice that they are still working, but it doesn't seem like there's any urgency or anything special going on. You do see Clive come out of the big tent and put his hands on his hips for a couple minutes and just kind of look around. And in the binoculars, you can you guess a disapproving look on his face. But he doesn't say anything to anyone, and he just kind of like turns and goes back to the tent.
Is Gardner out there?
Gardner is, yes.
Okay, good.
He looks bored.
Everything's looking the same, it seems. Right?
Yeah, I guess that's not bad news.
Jim nods. Well, it looks like he's safe.
That's good, at least.
Figured. Yeah, that's probably what you were going to check on, huh?
Of course, I don't want to have our own night in with Clive be, found out and then something happened to him.
Said he.
Go ahead.
William says, is that a good friend of yours, Dr. Gardner?
We became friends on the expedition. I wouldn't say he's the best friend of mine or anything, but he's I think the closest thing that I have to a friend out here. At least during the expedition.
He kind of raises an eyebrow. And English, isn't he?
He is, but he is one of the few good ones. Lottie gives a wide smile to Jimmy.
And he smiles, and that's all I really wanted to say, though. He kind of slinks back with the binoculars and puts them away.
How long you gonna stay there watching?
Maybe like 20 minutes or so, and if nothing's happening, then we could probably head back.
Okay. Really nothing remarkable happens, so I assume you head back to the camp then. And Maxine resumes work on Lottie's fake passport.
What name you want to have?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe I should have some sort of British name.
Elizabeth Victoria.
The third. I don't know, maybe like a Evelyn would be nice.
And she starts working on it.
Yep. Okay. Time passes. You're working on it, and you recognize the Clive expedition truck heading up towards the village.
Well,
Dr. Gardner.
Lexi, you should hop in the truck and get up there as well.
Yeah, Maxine stands up and packs away the work that she's done. And all right, let's see if your friend's got any new.
Lovely.
Okay. So, yeah, you head in then, and I assume you go to the cafe and park. And when you go in the cafe, he's already sitting at the table, ordering some food, and he looks up with recognition, and he smiles and kind of puts his hand up as if like to say, "Here I am," although you could not possibly miss him because there's nobody else here. And he's got an unlit cigar sticking out of the side of his mouth. He stands up and kind of comes around the table to clasp you, Lottie. It looks like maybe he's going to shake your hand, but instead he kind of gives you this warm hug.
And Lottie embraces him and looks to Jane. You know, you don't have to wave. You're harder than a sheet of paper. I can see you from a mile away.
He says, "I always have trouble understanding your accent, Lottie, but I love it. Please, sit."
As long as I sound funny, it's all that matters.
He kind of shifts his cigar and sits down, and he says, "Well, I don't mind telling you I've been looking forward to this all day. That should give you an idea of how dull it's been around camp."
I saw you being bored over there.
And old man Clive, good heavens, he's in a rare state of mind, I'll tell you.
What do you mean? You looked a bit grumpy there.
Grumpy doesn't begin to describe it.
Oh?
He calls the proprietor over and starts ordering some food. He says, "My treat tonight."
Thank you.
He says, "No, really, you've no idea what relief it is to talk to you." He says, the Kraut's gone tight-lipped lately, and well, you know how well I get on with Winfield.
I assume splendidly.
To see you again, Doctor.
Yes, it is. He shakes your hand, of course. He says, do you smoke by any chance? I have another cigar if you're interested."
I do, sir. Thank you very much.
And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a mostly not sweaty cigar and hands it over to you and offers you a light.
And he nods and thanks, and I'm letting it swim around his head as he's sitting down.
Mm-hmm. He says, "So what news? You wanted to meet again. Here we are. What's happened?"
I wanted to ask you some news as well, if you had anything new that you saw.
No, but not that I saw. But I did overhear Clive and Winfield talking a little early this morning over breakfast, through the tent flap, if you will. Yeah, because I think we're probably going to be moving the expedition soon.
Do you know where to?
I haven't gotten up the courage to ask the old man. He hasn't mentioned it.
There's a chance that you might be going down to the Bent Pyramid.
Why would he be doing that?
There's rumors that, apparently Nephron Ka was buried there.
Really?
We think that I think that, they
Haven't
may
heard that.
trying to find.
Curious. Nephron Ka buried there, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't exactly make a lot of sense.
Something about him, I don't know, bury him far away, and apparently Snafaru buried him there to purposely shield the world from him instead of vice versa.
I see.
Something along those lines.
I guess that would be as good an explanation as any, since the pyramid itself is so, well, strange. He says,
Too bad.
I find it hard to believe no one's buried there.
They haven't found anyone, have they?
Oh no, no.
Excavating.
No, they say it was prepared for Sneferu. It was intended to be his burial place, but for whatever reason, it was not to be.
It kind of makes sense. Sneferu was supposed to be the main opposition to the Black Pharaoh.
Yes, if there was a Black Pharaoh, as I believe there probably was, at least in some form, yes, it is Sneferu who is traditionally attributed with his defeat.
Well, if you're going to be moving soon, we get to find that out, but I don't think we've really found anything more, though we do know, at least, that something's going to be happening in a few nights. We overheard some lovely women who apparently are very afraid for El Shakti to come and take them, like he's done with others.
The Egyptian gent came by the camp yesterday. That fella.
Yes, yes.
And why would he take these women?
I think it's for some sort of ritual that he's doing.
Oh,
I think.
ritual A. He turns to William and winks.
William kind of smiles and looks down at the table for a moment, and then over towards Lottie.
I will say these women do not look do not sound like they're going to be enjoying anything they're going to be experiencing.
No, of course not. No.
Well, if Lottie's any, I think she's kind of the expert on the charms Ashakti can show a woman. She says kind of darkly.
Yeah. His face darkens a little. He says, sorry for making light of it, Lottie. He just kind of takes a drink.
They were quite terrified.
What do you intend to do?
Well, there's a few things that could be done, but it's all very dangerous.
He kind of shrugs. He says, well, I can't exactly let you two ladies walk into danger without, with just one gentleman accompanying you. If it's danger you're looking for, I'll oblige if I can.
And I would say we are going to be sticking it to Clive very soon. She kind of looks over to Maxine.
I'd love to see anyone stick it to him. He deserves it.
Yeah. We'll see how things go tomorrow morning. Clive may take off in a hurry. We'll see.
Tomorrow morning. Something I should know.
Max looks at Lottie for guidance. It's her friend.
Lottie nods.
And she looks over at William, to kind of get approval on we're telling this guy. But
you can tell he's been like super secretive and not sure this whole time about who to mention, the name to mention at all. And he looks over to Maxine and nods to her.
yeah, we went and talked to somebody in Cairo, somebody who's fairly well respected around here in the field of archaeology. And tomorrow they're going to go to Mycerinus, and hopefully Clive is going to end up somewhat exposed.
Oh. Exposed with regards to the theft.
Yeah.
I see. Well, good. You don't suppose I'll get caught up in that, do you?
We did mention that we had a friend inside, and he was kind enough to give Dan your name.
You gave them my name.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure that that you didn't go down with him.
Oh, that was very thoughtful. Well, good. Right. Well, I suppose I must do my bit.
Yeah. If things get real hairy and you gotta get out of here, James, maybe we should set up some place where you can leave word where you are. We can meet up with you so you're not on your own.
Where would that be?
Max thinks. Yeah, the Shepherd Hotel is where I used to stay, but I think that's the first place they might go looking for you.
Could be. The Hotel du Sud is alright.
Hotel de
Sud.
Hey, can you write that down? I can't make heads nor tails of names around here.
Sure. He gets out a little scrap and pulls a pencil out of his pocket and writes it down on there.
Does he seem any different tonight? His demeanor or anything like that?
You can make a psychology check to see.
Okay.
Ooh, a hard success. He doesn't appear to have changed much. He might be he seems a little nervous right now. But that's only just recently, since you started talking about arresting Clive.
The name drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you said you had proof in it that Clive might go down, you could see his expression kind of darkened a little bit, and He looked a little concerned. He up until that point, he seemed to be in rather a jovial mood. It seemed to you he was genuinely happy to see you, and wasn't really, didn't seem to be hiding anything or masking anything you could tell.
Okay, so his demeanor darkened at the mention of Clive going down, but not when we said that his name got put up.
Yeah, that he didn't seem happy about that either. When you said you, you can see he seems kind of resigned to it, but not happy about it. So he says, "Well, let's eat." And, the food has arrived, and he seems to be concentrating on eating now. Oh shoot! I'm not hearing anybody. Hold on. Okay, I am.
How about now?
Yep.
Cool.
What it was.
Maxine tries to lighten the mood by telling some of her raunchy stories about clubs in Chicago.
Oh, that does work. That lightens his mood substantially.
Yeah, you ever hear of Al Capone? Well, I run into him a couple times, and there was this one time when we was at the Pink Pony. And anyway, she goes on.
Oh, he'll listen to your stories. As long as you'll keep telling him. He seems to enjoy that.
Guys, what would I roll to see if I've ever Al Capone?
I mean, most people, he's pretty famous even at this point, or infamous. You probably don't know a lot about him, but when you hear American gangster, that's one of the names you would think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I don't understand is everybody's heard of Al, but nobody's heard of Chicago. And she just holds her hands up I don't get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, my man Marty was one of his lieutenants, so I did run into him several times. And yeah, he never seemed super serious, but there's something about him. Makes your blood run cold, I'll tell you that.
I can imagine. Well, sort of. Huh. So, of course, we have our own criminals in England, but they tend to be a little less colorful, wouldn't you say, William?
Yes, indeed.
Well, that's what happens when you outlaw alcohol. It turns your criminals into heroes of a kind,
Yes, I suppose. Yes, it seems rather ridiculous to deny the people what they want. Humankind has been drinking since before we've recorded history, I assume.
Here. Gosh, this conversation's making me miss that.
Well, he reaches in and pulls out his flask, and he empties his clay mug of water, pours it back quick, and pours a little in. He pours some in there and takes a drink, and then passes it on.
Now we're talking.
He says, "I'm afraid this won't remind you of home, but perhaps a better place." He smiled.
Anytime's a better place when there's alcohol involved, that's for sure.
Hear, hear.
So William
And fine
says,
company.
Very true.
William says to Maxine, because he had totally forgotten too, getting mixed up in the conversation and everything. He's like, "If you will excuse me, I will be right back." I need to go check on something for a moment.
Yeah, we'll stay right here. Watch your back.
Nods and smiles. And he'll head out this back door.
Oh, William, don't forget about that address.
Oh, indeed.
Yes. All right, William. I know where you're going, and I have added something to the Egypt documents at the end for you.
Nice.
It's not very long.
All right, I'll go read that. Well.
It and it's from LEM. That's what it says.
So, yeah, William will see if he can send that, or at least make a copy and send it. Information on the
label.
Yeah, the label.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I mean, it would have to be a summary of the information.
Right. And I will let him know about I should probably write it to you. Write something up real quick.
If you like. Yep, that's fine.
The gist of it would be the involvement of the doctor,
Dr. Kafour.
Dr. Kafour, and what's about to go down.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, back at the cafe, James is just engaging in pleasantries unless there's something else you wanted to talk about. He seems just happy to carouse.
Hey, they already had the prayers here in town?
Yes. I waited till after. He said there'll be more, of course, right at sunset.
Max looks at Lottie. Is it too late to do anything about that, you think?
We'd have to get a change of clothes, I think, for one. But if we want to go find those women, make a try. Though we don't know what they look like, is the only thing.
Yeah, you're right, it was dark. We'd want to go watch and see if they came out, I guess.
True,
Because we know where they...
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we're gonna go try to catch those ladies. Oh, wait. It wasn't you we was talking to. Anyway, we're gonna try to talk to some ladies that we ran into the other night on the way to prayer.
These are the ones who are a bit more fearful for their lives.
Okay.
But we should probably wait for William to get back. Unless James wants to tell
True.
him where we went.
Oh, it's not the evening yet. It's still good time.
Yeah. So William will be back. He'll make it back before then, certainly.
Just have to make sure to avoid those pottery people.
The pottery people.
The pottery people.
Oh no, the pottery people.
Yeah.
I think them's are called golems.
Har har. Okay. So any other discussion? I mean, James isn't initiating anything, non-lighthearted. So.
No, I think Maxine will try to keep things light there and ask if he wants to meet them again there tomorrow night. If
It's an excuse to get away. Yeah, he said I'll have to come up with another reason, but sure.
just tell him you're bored out of your gourd.
Sure. I
think
won't even
that'd be
have to
fine.
lie about that. Especially if he's
You-
planning to move the dig. Who knows where he's going to go? There may not even be a watering hole.
True. You, did you come here with the woman with the stick up her arse?
I'm sorry, who?
Joanna.
Oh, did I come... Have I ever come here with her, or did I come here...
Today.
Oh, heavens, no, no. He says, we came together the first night we were here, but, truth be told, I don't think I please her very much. I don't think I'm serious enough for her company. In fact, I'm not sure any of us are suited for her company.
I think that's why she's still, without a husband.
I suppose. Good heavens. She'd have some rigid kraut standing at attention all day. I think that's the kind of man for her,
Just has to find someone who likes it.
I suppose.
If they end up moving the dig real sudden and you don't get a chance to tell us, do you think you should leave word here at the restaurant with the owner?
I could do that.
I don't know if you got any other ideas, Lottie.
Not quite sure though. I know we're checking at least every day. If you're there or not. If you don't find a way to get a note to the owner here, you can always try to hide one somewhere in the dig, and then if we see you're gone, we'll try and find it. But
All right.
Hey, that's a darn good idea. We kind of know where his tent is. Maybe he could,
Oh, you've been spying on me, have you?
Oh, yeah, she says, waggling her eyebrows.
I'll be sure to leave my flap open tonight. He kind of winks.
Max grins. I don't know if we got time for that, but you never know. But anyway, maybe
He looks at
stick it under
he looks
a
at
rock.
William like, I was joking, but wow.
make sure to clean the binoculars once you're done there, Maxine.
They do get a little steamed up.
Yes.
William comes back
Indeed.
in just the right time. He comes and sits back down and laughs at the current conversation.
Jesus, that's an American for you.
Yeah, trust me. Even among Americans, they say I'm one of a kind. So,
I quite believe it.
One thing I was bringing up before is if you and Jana are here, if Clive and Winfield are doing things while you're gone.
Well, Joan only came the one time. She hasn't really left camp since then.
Probably not.
She
Them.
think of Clive. You get along?
She and Clive?
Yes.
It's very hard to say, actually. They exchange words once in a while. She seems all business. Very discontent, if I might add. I think she's as disappointed as I am that we've come out into this middle of nowhere. She was very excited when we were back at Giza, of course. But coming here, I have asked her once or twice whether how much longer she intends to stay with the expedition, but she's not shared her mind with me on that score, I'm afraid.
Were we planning on taking him to that location? Out of character. Couldn't recall.
To the secret entrance in the pyramid.
Yeah, did we talk about that last
We
time?
did. Yeah, we did. We told him about it. He really wanted to go, and we just were like, just wait.
Well, if he went, then he wouldn't be spying anymore. So, I mean, but he'd probably be like giddy to be involved in it, and it would totally make sure that his name wasn't smeared along with Clive's.
That's true.
Stuff's about to go down tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning. Well, we're showing them the entrance that I found that you found in my Serenus, but the back entrance, that's a whole other thing. That's a more fantastical thing.
What? Are you saying this aloud?
Yes.
Oh.
Claudia's not quite thinking.
He says, well, but wait, you're speaking of the pyramid again.
Yes.
When will it happen? I'm trying to be very patient, you understand.
Because, is it Samara that we're doing that?
Maxine kind of winces. Yeah. I reckon maybe James wants to be part of it.
Part of what? He asks.
Alright, so here's my thing. And she's still facing Maxine. So alright, so that I know we have to keep eyes on Clive and everything, but I don't think Clive. I think we might know exactly where they're going after this, right? If they're going to the Bent Pyramid.
I think we got a good idea, assuming he doesn't get arrested.
And, you know, having someone like James around, it's, no offense, William, I mean, you're, she kind of gives him a look up and down. An English fella, but having two of you might be a bit better. Plus, if, like you said, if we're, with Clive, it's going to be tying him into something for us. And anyone associated is going to get burned as well if they're not, you know, on the side of the Egyptian authorities.
Yeah, so I hear what you're saying. One way or another, it might be better to have James with us.
I think so.
From the way you're talking, it sounds like whatever it is you're going to do, yes, I would rather be on the side that doesn't get arrested.
Yeah, well, we told somebody we trusted about the secret entrance to my Serenus, and we're meeting them tomorrow, along with some,
Look.
He puts his head on his hands on his head, and he says, "You told them about it already? You haven't even shown it to me."
All right, look, James.
This was supposed to be a discovery.
James, look here, all right? Look at me. And she kind of puts her hands on his.
You
So
can see he's just totally crestfallen at the moment. Yep.
Okay, look here. So there's the entrance in my Serenus, right? There's that one that you can get down and inside.
So you say I've not seen it yet.
But James, there's another entrance that's even. I say that's even more fantastical and even more refined than just the one in my Serenus. That one we can show you without telling anybody else, and this can be yours because you're the one who came up with the theory of a city that's underneath us.
Oh. You're sure there's really two ways in, but if they find it, then it's found. It doesn't matter that I find another way in. Who cares?
But-
Well, look, James, we can give you other credit. We don't care. We can say that it was your research that helped us find it.
It's not about that. What little do you think of me that I want to claim credit for something that just
No.
in name only? I wanted to be part of the discovery.
That's why you come with us tomorrow, James.
That's it. You'll be right there, right in the thick of it, right when it happens.
He's frowning. He doesn't look convinced that this is quite anywhere near as good as what he was hoping.
I understand, but we did have to tell the Egyptian, the doctor.
Well, eventually, yes, but I thought you were going to show it to me before we did anything.
Well, James, it's guarded by. It's inside my Cyrenus, and at night they've got guards there, and down below there's all sorts of bad people. They're killers. You know, we can't go down there without just
I'm
two
not
armed
afraid of
men
all
ain't
of
gonna
that.
make a difference. Well, you should be.
Do you imagine how revolutionizing this would be?
Yes, a dead British man who never sees the light of day again.
No.
That's revolutionary.
One must always take risks when the greatness is on the horizon. Always. It's everything that's worth doing is comes with some risk, as my father used to say.
James, do you want to be part of it, or do you want to stay with Clive?
I don't want to stay with Clive, of course I
Then
don't.
you're gonna want to be part of it. Then you're coming with us tomorrow.
Yes. But I suppose I'm crying over spilt milk. I just don't understand why you couldn't have waited at least another day.
Because they might have moved the sarcophagus by then. Or they might have got wind of what we was doing.
We've already got wind of what we were doing, to be honest.
Yes. But the sarcophagus is just secondary. I don't care as much about that. Oh well.
Oh, that's good.
Well, it's
Probably for the best that you don't care much about the sarcophagus.
It's the city. If there's a city underneath, can you imagine? Oh, anyway. All right. So what do we do? What's the plan? Oh, shoot, hold on. I've lost you again. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Now Discord asks you, how'd the call go? Sad face. That's how.
Oh.
Did you get my whisper there?
I did, yes.
So, hear me out. Alright, so what I'm planning on, alright, is we're going to leave very early in the morning to go back up to Giza, right? And you maybe say that you have to go take a piss somewhere, or, you know, you forgot something. You're like, oh no, I need to get there before everybody wakes up, because if someone goes into the cafe, they might steal something from me. I don't know. Like, you forgot something and you realize it in the morning. So you're like, I have to go. And then you kind of run out, right? And you get away from, I don't know, this is just me spitballing, right? And then you leave. And then you drive back up, and then you pass by our camp, and then you hop into our vehicle, and then we take the long way around and go back up to Giza. Does that make sense?
Where shall I meet you? He just he just blinks a few times and says, "Where shall I meet you?"
Lottie, I guess we have a map or something, so she'll take it out and kind of point to where their camp. Right here.
Fine, I'll be there tomorrow morning. What time?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Right. Well, it's early.
I think it's early, but we need to go.
Yes. No, quite. Good. I'll speak to Clive about it. No one's allowed in or out without his approval, you know.
Yeah,
Of
you're
course.
gonna need to think of a good reason. Maybe tell him the car sounds funny. The truck
Yes.
sounds funny.
That's
And
good.
he was gonna
Good
get
one.
somebody here to take a look at it real early before they go to work. I don't know. You think of something.
Yes, yes, quite. That seems reasonable. Well, all right then. He stands up. I'm not exactly sure what I'm getting into here, but I trust you know what you're doing. And he puts his hand to shake William's hand again. And actually, all three of you. And
I've been downgraded to a handshake, I see.
he says, "Oh no, don't. Sorry, I'm just lost in thought now."
No, I understand, it's fine, and just getting your goat.
Yes. Well, I wish you all a good night then. And
He is so James.
he goes to the door and goes down the street and starts his truck and drives off.
William lights another cigarette and kind of a small frown on his face, but he looks to the others and
I know, I could probably still use him there at the Clive exhibition, but I don't want to. If we're getting Clive into trouble and everything, I don't want to get him into anything too deep, because he could get thrown under the bus. Or the cart, I guess.
He doesn't exactly seem born to deception. I hope he can pull this off tomorrow morning.
just
That's
out of
right.
character. We think you might have left. You might not have been at the computer when we had mentioned to him that we had given Gardner's name to Dr. Kafour
Mm-hmm.
so that he would stay safe during the...
I gotcha.
Did you hear that?
I did not. I still think Lottie would be like, "Meh, just in case."
William says, wasn't too happy about finding out about the arrest tomorrow.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, probably worried about his good name getting tangled up in all this. You think?
Most
Be it.
likely. I mean, if you come all the way out here and then, thing that you're discovering gets stolen from under your nose and you gotta find it, then I don't know. It's a whole mess.
Hey, William, you got any word from your friends?
Yes, I told to stay away from Omar. It's in light of new information. I believe that those orders may change.
Are you sure you can trust him?
What's that?
Are you sure you can trust him there, William? I mean, you know, a lot of people in the government here I think might be working for Omar, and maybe a lot of are tied to the Holy Brotherhood. And I mean, reading through the notes and everything, it seemed a lot of the police and such in New York are tied to it as well, maybe. At least from some of the stuff I read.
And he kind of scrunches up his eyebrows a bit. How well does he know his superior?
Personally, not all that well. he mostly he knows that he is a very well respected hero of the war.
And after he scrunches his face up, he's like, wasn't worried about it until mentioned it.
Like Maxine is saying, it doesn't hurt to be careful.
I mean, you would have pegged him just as a very proper English gentleman in general. Like he's very conservative. He's no nonsense. He certainly doesn't strike you as who you would imagine someone who's a cultist being. You know, with irrational beliefs and all that. He seems like he's church going and all of that.
And as he thinks on it for a moment, he kind of shakes it out of his head. He says, "Sure, I could trust him. Just not know all the answers yet. In light of this new information, my orders will change soon."
Alright, there.
Okay. So what now?
Do we want to try to talk to the ladies tonight?
Yes.
All right, I think we're probably going to go back to our truck and put on our other garb then, and Maxine's going to want another tutorial on what she's supposed to do. She's pretty good at, fitting in when she has to. I mean, she's a natural grifter, but this is all very foreign.
Okay.
The information William gives you is all like straight from books.
So I do want to point out, when the prayers were called, it was only men who went to the mosque.
Oh, it was only men.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, actually.
Even better.
Even better.
So we can sneak into the estate, or sneak by the estate, and go the same way that we did before, since everyone's going to be inside. We know for how long, too. And we can see if we can find the women there and terrify them for one, and talk to them for two. I think we should go change, though.
Okay.
William can be our lookout, I guess.
All right.
That sounds good.
Okay then. So you wait for prayers, and then head over. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Probably taking this direction.
Show me again.
Going this side.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. Sure. That works. Excuse me. So, so you wait. So probably around, let's see, like around here, to wait for people to leave. Something like that.
Yeah, we're good. Oh, I think that'd be good. Probably.
Okay. All right, there is a call to prayer, and people. You notice some men file out, including the owner of the home, clearly, and they head up to the mosque.
Alright, now's our chance. We should get in there.
All right, so go ahead. How are you getting in?
I know there's a door somewhere over here. I think we should try it, maybe.
There's the kitchen. We know where the kitchen is.
Yeah, let's try the
Because
kitchen.
we heard the ladies talking and working in there before. So do you want to just try to walk in?
Yeah, let's do it. And then, Lottie will look to Will. We've got to be the ones to try and calm them down if they get a bit too scared.
This is going to be mostly a show, Lottie. I don't speak this jibba jab.
Lottie could have put a hand over her face. I'll try. I'm not the most charming. I'll try.
Okay. So you go to the door. Make a luck check. Let's see. Maxine. The door is unlocked.
Wow, nice.
There's no bar over the door. It's just open. In fact, it's sort of partially cracked and you hear voices in the kitchen. And the voices actually sound like the voices you remember from the other night.
Maxine looks back at Lottie with a big smile on her face. It's them.
Alright, I'll try this. Wish me luck. I don't know if this is gonna go right or not, or if you want to instruct me at all, Maxine, since you're a lot more charming than I am.
Yeah, look, well, don't tell him we was in here the other night. I'll tell you that. But do tell him that we know that Al Shakti's a bad guy and, well, we got friends in high places who are working to stop him. But anything they could tell us could help. And maybe we can help get them out of this sticky situation.
Good idea. Alright. Okay, Lottie will kind of go up to the door and, she'll kind of push the door open, clear her throat, and say hello,
and you hear an Arabic, who is that? And somebody's coming to the door.
It's, a friend. Someone who knows of what you're going through, or might be going through soon.
She looks at you and she says, the men are at prayers. You should go to the front. And this is in Arabic. And
I know.
Wait for Mr. Said's return. And you can see there's another girl kind of curiously poking around, looking.
I've actually come to speak to you. This is regarding, I understand that, you might be taken away in a few days, and I'm here to try and stop that.
The two look at each other and they say, taken away? By whom?
Omar al-Shakti.
She says, when you say that name, the look on their faces is unmistakable. But the girl says, I don't know any Mr. Al-Shakti. You should go.
No. Look. I understand you're afraid. I understand you're scared, but we want to prevent what's happened to other women like yourselves happening to you.
She looks at the two of you curiously. William, are you sort of in the background there?
Yeah, he's been listening. Is it possible for him to step forward and say something?
Sure.
And he'll of course say in Arabic. And he'll step forward and say, "We are here to help stop him."
She just looks at you with a pained face, and just kind of, and she just shakes her head, and she says, "You should go. You should go."
And can he try to charm?
I think you're trying to. You can certainly make a charm roll to see how charming or how disarming you are, or reassuring, I guess, may be the right word.
See something wrong. Okay, yeah, that's what he's good at. All right. Yeah, he's going to try to just change his demeanor a little bit. No, maybe not as alarming or anything like that. Kind of more relaxed and speak in a more soothing voice and everything. And here we go.
So what are you saying?
He says, "Please, please, please. We need your help. We need to know where he takes women that he takes from here. Is it?"
Are you the police? And she looks at you, William.
And he says, he says no. He kind of sighs and
I don't want any trouble.
he says, "You will not get in any trouble."
If I make trouble, I will be the one. Do you not understand? I don't want it. I don't want to be the one. I have tried to be good. And Suha here, we are trying to be good.
Is this your daughter?
No. No. She says, our families are friends.
Don't want any more women to be taken away.
What can you do? You are not a policeman. You have said so. There's nothing you can do.
He's part of a secret government organization that's looking to...
That's too complicated for your Arabic.
Oh, yeah. He's secret police.
I'm sure they have a word for that. She looks at you with a little bit of alarm. Nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong. I don't want any trouble, please. And she's trying to close the door. Are you stopping her, Lottie? I mean, you're right there in the doorway.
You're just gonna try.
Yeah, it's not hard to stop her. You just kind of put a foot down and stand in the door. She's not she's not putting her whole weight or anything, but she is trying to close the door. And when you stop her, she just says, "Please, please, you're going to make trouble for me." And she kind of looks back over her shoulder towards the doorway, and you see that.
Oh, go ahead.
No. You just see that the other girl behind her looks confused and unsure. Like she's starting to look scared now too.
And William says, "We are working with the police tomorrow, but we need our help. Don't have to put your name out there. You're not going to get into trouble. Just let us know. Please. The women being taken away. Sacrifice. Are they being sold?
I don't know. They just don't come back. She says, look, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't think I can help you. But what do you want? What do you want from me?
And he looks over to Lottie and nods to her and says, need to stop what is happening here. So, thus, we need to stop Omar.
Not here, not here.
What's this?
We won't be back.
What's the guy's name?
From here, Ufa Said.
He'll say his name too, and is he a bad man as well?
Ufa Said, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Saeed.
And when you say that a woman appears in the doorway, she looks better dressed, certainly, than them. And she says, Sata, in Arabic, who are you speaking with?
Maxine.
Her face looking.
Maxine what?
She makes sure that her face is covered with this, they put on the other garb.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna look at Lottie and say, we gotta go.
Oh,
It's
And you see, she says, no one, mistress, just beggars asking for food. And she says, you know the master's policy on giving beggars food. He will do it on holy days when he chooses. Get rid of them now. And she kind of says in a quaky voice, which you're not sure is at all convincing, she just says, we do not give to beggars. I'm very sorry. You must go.
fine.
yeah.
Lottie, tell her, hurry. If someone gets taken, to leave a red towel under the door.
Sata's trying to close the door.
Lottie, she just kind of shakes her head to Maxine, and she kind of holds her hands up a little bit. Sorry. Kind of backs up from the door.
Okay.
As she does,
And the door closes, and you can hear a little wooden bar being put in place. Doesn't sound very heavy.
she kind of looks to Maxine. If we tried any further, I think they would have gotten into deeper trouble.
Yeah, I don't know what they were saying, but they seemed scared.
I'm not good at this. I'm sorry, really. You're much better at the German thing. I don't know what to say. I put my foot in my mouth.
When people are this scared, sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Yes. I believe those women were too afraid. Rightfully so.
And it doesn't sound like they know where people go anyway. I don't know how much help they could be.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maxine has no idea about that.
The men are starting to come back. You can see people walking through the streets up there.
Oh, we should go.
Get heading down.
All right, back to the truck and back to camp.
Mm-hmm.
Whee. There's your
It's a
slightly
nice truck.
too modern-looking truck, but there aren't many options. All right, especially for top-down. I've been searching for top-down vehicles from the 20s, and it is not easy to find anything. All right, so back to your camp.
Yeah, I figure our car looks kind of like what the Beverly Hillbillies were driving.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Uh-huh.
So it is sundown. So when you get back to camp, the sun really is disappeared below the horizon, and there's just a little bit of twilight left.
I should set up camp and get ready for tomorrow. Unfortunately, I don't think we learned too much, except that those women are scared.
Yeah, we don't want to oversleep. We need to be there when things go down.
And Jin.
Did James say he was meeting us there at Mycerinus or here?
Nope,
No, he's
he
coming
said
here.
Coming to your camp.
Whew. Okay, well, he doesn't need to take the truck then. He could walk. Although you said he was a tubby little guy, maybe he thinks he needs to take the truck.
Okay, so is it sleep and early rise?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that's weird. Okay. So the night passes. You're getting up early and getting ready for about a 6 a.m. departure is what it sounded like to me. Let's see. I need Maxine to make a luck roll for me.
Oh, we better break this.
Oh, jeez. That's 2 luck rolls in a row I've made today. I can't.
Okay, so you it's 6 o'clock. You're waiting, and there is unfortunately no sign of James.
Oh, poor James.
I should probably look out for him. Up by the rock there.
Yeah, I think
Back to my spot.
Yes.
I think we creep up to the spying spot.
Okay. You get to the spot, and through the binoculars, you can see he's standing in front of the truck with Johanna Speck like going through the engine with the hood up. And Clive, Clive standing sort of in the background watching, and you can see Gardner's sort of agitation, even at this distance.
He's like, I swear I was making a sound last night.
Damn it.
Well, what do we do? Do we leave him behind, Lottie?
I don't know. I mean, we could leave a message with the person at the diner there. See if he goes up there. We could leave a message here. If he comes back, a little note to say to meet us where we're going, and if he finally gets away. But I don't know if we would wait a little bit longer or try to think of some sort of distraction to get him into the vehicle and abscond with him.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's what we need is we need them all to be looking someplace else. She looks around. I don't have any grenades or anything. Not even any fireworks.
Neither do I.
Well, you see him go around to the driver's seat and kind of give a thumbs up, and Johanna starts cranking the starter, and you can kind of see the exhaust come out of the back of the truck, and Gardner gets out, and he's making this big show of like, oh wow, it's all working now, hooray.
Damn it.
And you see Johanna just kind of turn and say a couple things to Clive, and even you can tell by her body language just sort of the irritation that she has, that she just wasted her time with all of that. Like she doesn't look happy or she's just very dour about it and walks away. And you see Clive and William exchanging some words.
Does Gardner stick with the vehicle, or does he go back to his tent?
The vehicle's still on, the engine's still running, and he's now a few feet away from it talking to Clive, and he's kind of gesturing up to the village, and you can see Clive kind of looking over and saying something, kind of poo-pooing something, you can tell, and then you see Gardner starting to look irritated, and you get the sense that he's kind of venting a little to Clive.
Yeah.
And he starts gesturing around the dig.
Maybe this is a good thing. He gets upset, maybe storms away, in anger. Right?
And he kind of turns and he goes to the truck and he gets in, and you see a couple of the guards that are near Clive kind of look at Clive, and they were just kind of standing there casually with their rifles, and you see one of them sort of pick up his rifle like, what do you want me to do? And Clive just puts a hand up to stop them, like it's okay. And Gardner kind of slams it in, and then drives away. You watch him drive away. And you see Clive just stand there kind of stroking his chin in thought, watching Gardner go.
Looks like Gardner's no longer a friend.
Well, he wasn't going to be after this anyway.
Max lets out a breath like she'd been holding it the whole time. Oh, geez. All right, let's go.
Yep, let's get to...
And you can kind of see him wind his way painfully all the way around down the road, and then back up towards your camp. It takes a good 10 minutes. And he gets out and he says, well, here I am. Sorry I'm late.
Our trouble?
No, it's fine. I just delayed a little bit. It's nothing.
Right. I think that's why we chose such a early time to get together.
Good.
Just in case anything happens.
Are we ready to go?
Yeah. We can hop into the truck and...
He said I already put a few of my personal things in the back of the truck. I'm not sure I'm going back there again. At least I assumed maybe I wasn't.
Oh, good. Is it their only vehicle, the one that you have? Yeah. Or do they have others?
It is right now.
Oh, well, we're going to take it with us. Let's go.
I like that idea. Let's do it. He says he says it has been known to have occasional engine problems, though, and he kind of winks at you.
Well, hopefully it'll hold out until I get to Giza.
He says, we ought to drive into the village at least. That's where I said I was going. We can... We can go down the other side. It's a little bit steep, but I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, let's not
Perhaps I should
linger
follow
here.
Sorry?
Let's not linger here. Yeah.
Yes, let's go through the village and take the long way, huh?
Okay, so yeah, you go through the village, and they're going out the northern way is very steep, and there's like you have to kind of turn sharply. So he goes very slowly, but even then, it's like you're at an angle, and the truck could tip over. So someone's gonna need to luck check me, and that is going to be Lottie.
Woohoo! Hooray!
And who's driving, by the way? Ah!
Oh,
Okay, that is a fumble.
I was like, oh, look at the Irish, look!
Luck of the Irish. Yes, of course. That and how ironic, because that's kind of where it comes from. All right. So who is driving the truck?
Well, I think we probably took both vehicles.
yeah.
Okay. Well, then that would be James. So let me do a drive auto for him to see if he can save the day. Oh my. Well, you see the truck start to tip, and he speeds up instead of putting on the brakes, and somehow the combination of the way he steers and speeds, it just narrowly does not tip, and kind of rights itself with a couple of hard, like, boom, 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 to kind of the wheels come back down. And he drives out, and he just kind of sticks his head out the driver's window and puts a thumbs up, and he's got his cigar sticking out the side of his mouth, and he just winks.
Lottie was kind of grimacing, holding on to anything she just watching it. Just relaxes, realizing that she's very tense. Jesus above.
No more close calls this morning.
No.
And he drives off, and you follow, heading towards the Nile Road. And you drive up to Giza, and you arrive. It takes you a couple hours again, so we'll call it 10:30 when you get to the pyramid, and that's where we'll pick up. Though you can see there is already a delegation of people starting to form here in front of the pyramid.
Oh, thank goodness.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
That was great. Especially the end. Oh my god. Oh. Oh.
No problem. Yep, I can totally see him doing that.
Amazing.
Very
love
fun to
James.
picture.
Yep. Nothing to worry about. I had it
fine.
under control the whole time.
I picture Jack Black.
Never
Yeah,
in any
me
doubt.
too.
Yeah, never in any doubt.
Yeah.